Started off with YouTube.
I think technically we are streaming right now, but it hasn't shown up on the web page yet.
Where do you see us?
Hi, Ashley.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Good.
So this is our chat here.
Great. Wow.
Waiting.
That's cool.
Waiting to see it actually start going on the channel. Is it going there? Huh?
There it goes.
Oh, there he goes. Wow, that's a
delay.
a pretty big delay. But that's fine.
You should type something to say hello, everyone.
Yeah, we brought it up on the other computer so that we could also see how it's going. And I think Jenny's gonna go ahead and shut that down now so we don't get a whole bunch of
that loopy feedback stuff.
We're down one kid today, and the other kid is tending to a big welt on his head. So we are broadcasting now, guys.
Super.
So how are you guys doing?
We're doing awesome. I'm trying to configure my screen here because my chat window is taking up your entire face, including your beard, Mike. So I'm trying to get this configured here.
It's hard to avoid the beard.
I know.
So if everybody doesn't know, Dan, Ashley, and little buddy from the Grass-fed Homestead has decided to join us in a little chat today, and we're just gonna have some fun, answer some questions from you guys, and just talk back and forth. Dan's got his YouTube channel, or the whole family has a YouTube channel, the Grass-fed Homestead, website Grass-fed Homestead, and they're on Instagram, Facebook, same deal. And over the, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 months, I've been a regular contributor. I comment a lot on all of Dan's videos. I love all the content over there and raising the sheep and everything. I've just had a lot of fun following you guys. So I was hoping we'd do this little chat.
Yeah, and we're really excited you asked us to participate in this. And just real quick, if I could mention about kind of how we got linked up.
Yeah,
it was one of our viewers. I had just posted a video on the rotational grazing of sheep. I mean, it was actually kind of a rotational grazing in general video, but in reference to my sheep, what I was doing. And I think within probably, maybe you had done one like 2 or 3 days prior for rotational grazing your hogs. And one of our viewers, Peoria Dude, he's been a really great contributor to our channel. He said, hey, you got to check out Pratt Family Homestead. He just did a video on the rotational grazing of hogs. Check it out. So I went over there, and I think he did the same on your channel and introduced you to us, and we just really clicked from there.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, I had actually forgot all about that, but I think you're absolutely correct. And he is also a regular contributor on our channel as well. So that's cool.
Yeah, I see him. He's very involved in a lot of other homesteading channels, and he provides a lot of knowledge and insight. So we always appreciate his perspective. So I don't think he's joining us today. He told me that he's going offline for a few days, but I guess he can get the replay on this. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that is a nice thing. It's saved and people can come watch it and all that good stuff. So I did want to start off with a little, let some more people show up here and stuff. It looks like we got about 30 viewers right now, but I wanted to bring this up. Dan, did you guys happen to see what we did with this ketchup bottle on Facebook?
No, I haven't seen that one yet.
We had a contest about
a week or
so ago for people to guess what was in this ketchup bottle. But what do I keep in this ketchup bottle? And
drove people crazy.
It was driving people crazy. Jenny thought, oh, these guys they're gonna guess it. The Facebook guys, they're gonna guess it in no time whatsoever. But it was driving people crazy. But what was really cool is we got some really good ideas from people of stuff to put in here. Someone said keeping seeds in here. This would be perfect.
That's a really good idea. Like tomatoes.
Yeah, and just plant them
in the soil, squeeze it out.
Yeah, I kind of like that one. There was if people go look at that contest posting on Facebook. That was last weekend, babe?
I think it was last weekend.
I think it was last weekend, or maybe the weekend
before. There was
before.
a lot of good ideas.
There's a lot of great ideas. But Dan, I don't want to put you on the spot. Can you guess what I keep in here?
Mustard.
I first thought too. Probably not mustard.
Well, I will admit, we took a picture of it because Jenny thought it was going to be so easy because of people watching our videos and stuff. I did take a picture of it with the refrigerator door open in the background, but this does not go in the refrigerator whatsoever. I keep my homemade powdered deodorant in here.
Oh.
And I put it right in my hand, and it works great.
I was just gonna say, when you had it up originally, I couldn't tell, but then the light hit it just right, and I could kind of see that it was a powdery substance in there. And then I was thinking powder, and then I remembered your video. You did the foot powder and deodorant video. Yep.
Great idea.
So that was an awesome contest, and I believe the guy's name's Terry Jackson. He won that contest, and Jenny's gonna crochet him a hat. She's already working on it, I believe.
Sweet.
And Old Alabama Gardener is sending us a ton of squash seeds, so they're also going to get some squash seeds. And what else?
Not a Viking hat. It's just a regular beanie.
And
then the smoked salt.
Oh yeah, and a package of or a spice container of our smoked salt. That is another thing I was going to ask the viewers, or maybe Dan, maybe you guys have a good suggestion. Is our maple syrup bottles? They come with a lid that you screw on, and when you screw it on, excuse me, guys, I'm fighting a little head cold here that's developed in the last couple of days, but it has a sticky.
It's like the seal.
The seal. It has a seal that when you screw it on, it seals, and then you open it and you pull the seal off to pour the maple syrup out. I'm looking for spice bottles that get sold that way so that I can sell the smoked salt and it'll have a seal on it that when people get it, they can pull the seal off of the spice jar. Does that make sense?
That makes sense. That's a great idea.
But I can't find anything like that. I can't find anything like that on Amazon. I broke Amazon the other day trying to find something. So maybe somebody has a good idea for that.
Melissa's asking if we sell the smoked salt. Oh my gosh,
well, that's
my words are going to elude me today.
That's what we're hoping to do. We actually have ordered a whole bunch of real salt, the brand, the coarse version, and we're going to smoke it and sell it in the Etsy store. That's one of our big plans. So if anybody has any idea on
that seal,
because I feel
it's just more like a mental security thing. I mean, people are going to understand that we're doing the salt, we're putting it in the containers, but just that mental factor that like when you get it from the store, it has that seal on it to know there's nothing weird in there.
I need to find spice jars that come with a seal so that somebody doesn't just get the smoked salt and they open it and there it is. You know, she says it's a mental thing. And before we really get going, I got one more thing I just want to show real quick because I have been asked like crazy. Dan, do you guys know that I'm growing mushrooms?
Yes. I saw that on your Facebook.
Yeah, so let's see, where's it at?
Let's see.
They are really growing.
What kind of mushrooms are they?
These are shiitake mushrooms.
Shiitake, that's what I thought. That's nice. What are you going to make with them?
I have no idea.
That's how all projects go.
I got as far as buying the kit. I don't know what to do with them now, but
I don't think you really thought they were going to grow.
I was like, I'm not going to be able to grow these, but we've been asked a whole.
Mycologist now.
What's that?
You're an official mycologist.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we were real happy with that. There'll be a video coming out on that, a follow-up video coming up on that. So.
Okay.
Andrew, if anybody just joined us, Andrew hit his head really bad on the counter right before we started, and he's got a big welt on his forehead. Now keeping the ice on his forehead. Now he says his forehead's cold.
Wow.
So, but he's good. He's good. He's got a hard head like me. So, let's go ahead and just a little bit more warm up, I guess. I'd like to copy a lot of the other channels. Do the same thing. I'd like the audience to just start shouting out some channels that they love, that they like to do, and then we'll get into some of our shout outs. But I really like hearing what the audience is watching, what channels did they really like this week. And if you want to shout out, audience, you guys want to shout out your own channel, go for it. We'd really like to hear what you guys are watching. So I'll go ahead. Well, I think, because of the delay, and we'll start seeing them come up in a minute. Jenny, do you want to go ahead and do what you wanted to mention?
Yes, we wanted to say thank you to Eric at In Farmland. He put out a video focusing on 3 channels that inspire him going into 2017, and somehow we managed to end up on that list. So we just wanted to say thank you to him for including us, for putting that out there.
He did a great video compilation.
He did.
YouTube.
I was laughing. I hear it for every video, and I was laughing my butt off at it. So, but yeah, it was great of him to do that. So we really do appreciate it. And if you guys aren't subscribed to him, you're missing out. So you need to head over there for sure. Life in Farmland. Yeah,
Eric Life Farm. He's a really great guy, and I'm sure everybody knows his channel. But his videography and his putting videos together are fantastic. I see Charles from Old Alabama Gardeners here. How you doing, Charles? I have not been watching comments at all, so I have no idea what's going on.
We've had a lot of people say hi. I know that I'm Family Homestead is here. I've missed a bunch.
Yeah, we've missed a ton. I'm bad at keeping an eye.
Bonsai, Duckhead Homestead. A bunch of people are here.
Are people doing some shout outs? Oh, the Duck Homestead.
Charles said us.
The Duck Homestead. I think they had commented on a video yesterday, and we're real happy that the Grass-fed Homestead was going to be here with us, because I believe I'm going to say she is also in Idaho.
Awesome.
Nice.
And just so you guys know, we have a second computer set up here now. Ashley is keeping her eye on the comments coming in over there, so we still have our video on this computer.
So when you get the side profile of me and Ashley, it's because we're both watching a separate computer.
Patera, Art Breed, Justin Rhodes, Rain Country, Dirt Patch,
Swedish
Alderman,
Homestead, J00.
J00, yep. Dan, you guys have any shout outs? Anybody you'd like to?
Yeah, we sure do. The first one is for Teal House Farm. And it's this is a guy, Sam, and his family. They just started homesteading, and they just started a YouTube channel as well. And we were in that same position just a few months ago. In July, we kicked off our YouTube channel the day we moved on to our homestead, really. So I feel his pain with getting both of those started at the same time. But I just started noticing his comments in our comment section beneath the videos, and they're always super encouraging, really great feedback. And so every once in a while, I'll see, if I see like a channel name, I'll kind of hover over it to see what it is real quick. And I saw, okay, he has a YouTube channel. I clicked on it. I watched a couple videos, and I just saw this really young, sincere, endearing family out there just trying to make it happen. And Sam reached out to me and asked me for some tips on how to improve his video editing and stuff like that. So we went back and forth and shared a little bit about that, and just a little bit. And I'm really excited to see what they're doing and what they're the direction they're heading. So that's Teal House Farm, and the other one is Wholesome Roots. Rose is the content creator for that channel. She is down in Georgia, where we are originally from. And Rose also just recently started her channel. She has more experience homesteading. She's just starting the channel a little bit later, but she's out there trying to make it happen. She's posting very regularly as well, just about every day, just like Sam. And I first found Rose because I was really struggling to build a shelter for my sheep. I have no experience building anything. Like before we were homesteading, the only thing we ever built was a raised garden bed. So here I am trying to build this, three-dimensional structure that's going to hold up for livestock out in the elements and all that. And I was trying to find a way to make it light enough where I could pull it, drag it somewhere out in the pasture, but substantial enough where it wasn't too flimsy. And Rose saw my video, and she sent me a comment saying, hey, we put these big wheels on our goat shelter, you should check it out. And I said, well, do you have a video about it or anything? And she goes, no, but I'll make you one. And she went out and she did a close-up shot of the wheels that they installed on their shelter and everything like that. And from then on, I just started following what they were doing. Rose is doing a great job, really trying to make it happen out there. So shout out for Rose at Wholesome Roots.
Wholesome Roots. Okay. I was pulling up their pages here to flash on the screen, but I'm kind of lacking on that.
Yeah.
Shout out I'm gonna do. Oh, here, let me try this real quick. Let's see if this is this the. Let's see if I can do this. Share screen, application window. Is this the Teal House? The Teal House Farm? Is this the website? Can you see that?
Yes, that's their channel.
Oh, I love their house.
All right, cool. So that's the Teal House Farm, and I'll try to get the other one up here in a second without being too fumbly about it. Now I got to figure out how to stop sharing that screen. Okay,
We're still new to that
All
part.
right. The shout out that I would like to do is GrizzlyGroundswell, Chad T. Everson. This guy contacted me about a week or so ago, and he asked me if I wanted to join his Facebook group of pastured pigs, and I've been in contact with him a ton since then, and he's a really good guy to talk to. He's putting out videos every day, and his Facebook group, which I also would like to share with you, is called Pastured Hogs, I believe, and I don't want to get it wrong. So
Pastured hog.
Pastured Hog. Okay, so check out his Facebook also. This guy has just been really nice to talk to, really nice getting to know him. And I think he sleeps about as much as I do, because anytime I comment on anything, he responds almost immediately. So,
Pig's so cute.
and go check out his YouTube channel. I cannot pronounce them, but the pigs are the GOS's. I can't. Go ahead, try, baby.
I don't even know, but they're white and they're like Dalmatian pigs. They're white and they got black spots.
Right.
They're so stinking cute.
Oh, the
Awesome.
Gloucester Old Spot.
There you go.
Yes,
Yes, thank you. And,
The huge ears that cover their eyeballs.
I have absolutely fallen in love with those pigs, and might be on my radar for next ones to get.
Hey, Mike, did you guys see the video I published? I think it was yesterday. Rare heritage pig breeds.
I saw it, but I have not watched it
haven't
yet.
watched it
Okay, there's some cool breeds going on in there. Mangalista, have you heard of them?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
I have. Yep.
Well, you do big research.
Well, actually, is Magna Lisa, is that the one? Maybe the viewers know. Is that the one Snow Pony does? Michigan Snow Pony?
Is that the striped ones? Weird, hairy striped ones? Maybe. I don't know.
When they're born, they have the stripes on them, I think.
Yeah.
But that reminds me too of a real quick thing. Tracy, I see her in the comments. Tracy Good. So a quick shout out for Tracy, because she is not just a pig guru, but she's also a quite experienced shepherdess and has helped us a lot out on our channel with comments. So hi, Tracy.
Yeah, I've noticed Tracy comments a lot on our videos as well, or at least I'm thinking right. As everybody knows, I'm not always thinking right. So we just got flooded by kids here. We're being overrun. Oh no!
Babe, can you check in the sink? They moved their stuff and they're like scrambling to find it. Sorry.
So let's we're actually a lot farther in this than I thought we would be by now, Dan. So do you guys want to do a proper introduction of? Sure. Make it as long as you want, or as short as you want, whatever. But maybe where you came from and how you got here, and what you're doing, what you're all about.
Sure. I'm Dan. And
I'm Ashley.
This is Ashley, of course. And we have the Grass-fed Homestead, and we're actually not on the Grass-fed Homestead right now. We're broadcasting from a remote location. This is our satellite office, aka
Grandma's house.
Grandma's house. Our internet has some limitations where we are. In fact, just to throw this out here, a little behind the scenes for some of our viewers that are joining in. Every day when I go to upload a video for YouTube, I have to come here to upload it.
Which is good, because he's a very devoted son to his mother, and she loves to
little
see her
buddy,
grandson.
Little buddy, it gets to see his
Little
grandmother.
buddy loves grandma.
Every day because of that. So
they're very sweet together.
thank you to the YouTube family for that. But yeah, so I have to come here every day to upload, just because we have, data cap issues and all that. So yeah, we're broadcasting from Grandma's now. But anyway, so yeah, we lived in basically suburbia all of our adult lives, and right around the time that we were going to have our son, things started clicking for me, and we wanted to find a place with more elbow room and start raising our own food. And we started looking for places where we might do that. We didn't want to stay in Atlanta. We weren't happy there.
Too much concrete.
A lot of climate issues too. We weren't really digging the humidity and the heat in the summer.
The bugs.
Yeah, there was a long list of things for us that we wanted to leave for, but we wound up packing our bags, moving to Idaho, and it took us a little while to find our homestead. We kind of stayed in suburbia for a couple more years renting while we were looking to start our homestead and all that. We just got we just got moved in July of 2016. We hit the ground running the day after. So we moved in on a Saturday evening. Sunday, we were setting up hog panels, and then Monday our sheep arrived. The breeder could only deliver that one day, like right after we moved in, and we've just been nonstop ever since. And we had a really great year this last year, our first season homesteading, and we're really looking forward to this next year. We can't wait for spring because we're kind of in standby mode right now with all the snow we have, but we've got lots of plans for this year.
That's awesome. I think wasn't your guys's first? I think you kind of said it, but your very first video was actually a couple days before your move, wasn't it? Or
yeah, I had originally started documenting before we moved onto our homestead. We had set up a drip irrigation system. We were getting a garden ready, and we also we went to the breeder to look for sheep, and I filmed on my iPhone that experience, kind of picking out the sheep and that kind of stuff. And I had, at that point, I just do that. I have a background in taking video. I've just gotten the habit of doing that. So I didn't really have this concrete vision of having a YouTube channel at that point, but I was doing some video work for Justin Rhodes at the time, doing some editing for him for his permaculture chickens, and then later the 10-hour homestead project. And in conversation with him, he kind of encouraged me to launch the YouTube channel.
It's more of a dare.
Yeah.
It turns out my husband is more competitive than I thought he was. Like, oh, well, game on, Justin.
Well, we accepted the challenge, and failure was not an option.
It wasn't a dare, it was a challenge.
So yeah, I actually had a few videos backlogged already when we launched the channel. So I pushed those out, and then we did a video just kind of announcing, hey, we're doing this 30-day challenge by Justin Rhodes, and then we kicked off from there.
Cool. Well, how about the whole the grass-fed aspect of, well, I don't know if you mentioned, did you mention the breed of sheep? And I guess you stuck directly with grass feeding, and what brought all that? What made you decide to do that?
Well, this kind of goes back to Atlanta, where that whole thing comes from. And in fact, I actually have a video out there on this. It's kind of what inspired our homesteading adventure. I got really into making our own bread at home, and I wanted to learn how to make butter, because butter goes on bread and all that stuff. So I went to YouTube. How do you make butter? I started searching, and what I'd see is people go in the refrigerator and pull out the little carton of heavy cream and pour it. I'm like, no. If I'm making butter, I got to go to the source. I got to go to the cow. I got to find a cow. So I started searching. I found a farm that was right there in North Metro Atlanta, a 5-acre family farm that had Jersey cows. And oh, we love the Hammonds so much. They're really, really wonderful people. And they are so good at what they do that shortly after we joined their, what do you call it? It wasn't a CSA. It was just a farm membership. Their farm membership. They were completely sold out. They started sending emails like, you guys are so supportive, and you've referred so many friends that we actually can't produce any more milk. And wow. I discovered that some of my good friends professionally also were members.
So it was really great to see how like-minded we were with other people in areas that we thought had no crossover at all.
But we decided to go visit this farm, and we started talking with the farmers. They gave us kind of like a little introduction to their setup there. And they had mentioned that they just switched from giving their dairy cows, they had jerseys. They just switched their jerseys from grain to 100% grass-fed. And I didn't know anything about raw milk. I didn't know anything about grass-fed, grain-fed. I didn't know anything about anything. And I was like, what significance is that? What does that mean? And they started explaining to me how when you grain feed cattle, it increases the acidity level in their rumen, and the fat that they do put on, because if we're talking about cattle, let's put milk on the shelf for a minute. If you're talking about cattle, the fat that they put on is not as good of a quality fat. The cholesterols is not as good. The omega-6 to omega-3 ratio is way off. You want a higher omega-3 and a lower omega-6. You kind of want them to meet. Whereas corn-fed, omega-6 high, omega-3 low. Omega-3s come from the grass. They come from the photosynthesis and the chlorophyll in the grass. And they're explaining all these concepts to me, and I'm just like, you know, my head is about to explode. Like, what? I had no idea. So this really was intriguing to me. And from then on, I started just doing a lot of reading. I eventually found Joel Salatin, which, you know, he goes into this in really heavy detail. And from there, I made a conscious effort just with our diet to start shifting towards a grass-fed model for us. If we're eating beef, then I wanted to try and source beef that was coming from grass-fed cattle. Same with dairy. So there was that shift in our diet. And then I knew that's something that I wanted to carry on when we were going to start raising our animals. That was just important to me because I wanted to do it. I wanted to do it the way that was best for the animal and best for us. Apparently, there are health consequences for the animal if they're heavily fed in grain. So that was a concern. And I wanted to do it in a more sustainable manner because we can grow grass on our property. I can't grow enough corn though to you know, sustainably feed animals. We don't want to anyway. Yeah, we have so many deer just hanging out. There would be very little point in even trying to grow corn. Right. So to me, the model of sustainability is if you have ruminants or ruminant animals on pasture that are 100% grass-fed. That's the key to sustainability, because right now we're not there because our pastures are so poor quality. We're importing pretty much, I don't know, like 90% of their feed through hay. But eventually, I think we can get there through rehabilitating the pastures. And when we get to that point, we can, if we get our stocking density right, we can sustain our animals from our property a lot better than we are now. I mean, I'm depending on our stocking density, I think theoretically we could get to 100%, but I think more realistically, we could get to 75%.
Yeah, one reason I wanted to grow hay here is it doesn't make any sense to for self-sustaining reasons, like you're saying, to go buy hay all the time. It's not really self-sustaining. So that's one reason I was really big on planting hay here. And we are not self-sustaining on our hay either. We already ran out on buying round bales from the local farmer right now.
We were able to store 2 cuts. We did 3 cuts. We gambled with weather, and in Michigan, you have a tendency to lose.
I lost a lot of hay. I lost a lot of hay on that gamble.
Yeah, the 3rd cut lost. So we had 2 cuts that we had stashed up, and we didn't even make it to the beginning of the year, and we were out.
And I even goofed up on the 1st cut. I'm still learning. It went way too long. But just so people know your dedication to grass-fed, I remember a video of yours, and I honestly don't know which video it was, but I was reading through the comments. I'm one of those people that I read through the comments a lot of times on videos. But I remember on that video, in that video, you were feeding the sheep the alfalfa pellets, or at least I believe it's alfalfa pellets. And you were like, picking out little pieces of grain out of alfalfa pellets. And I was watching that, and I didn't think too much of it, tell you the truth. I was like, okay, yeah, he's getting the... But then somebody down in the comments is like, why in the heck are you picking out 2 or 3 pieces of grain?
Yeah,
and
I get a lot of that.
And your response was, well, I'm 100% grass feeding my sheep, and I don't want them to have grain. And I was like, well, yeah, duh. He's picking it out because he doesn't want the...
He would not do that.
I probably would not do that.
He would just dump it in there, and I'd be on the other side of the barn. Pick out the grain.
But that's just, and that's not meant as a funny thing to you. That's just a kudos to you and the dedication to the 100% grass-fed that you're doing.
That's great.
Well, thank you. And I will admit that had I not picked out those kernels of corn that were in there, they wouldn't have made any difference. It was so inconsequential, the amount. But
Principle.
It was a principle to me. The other aspect to this, which I didn't mention, and we probably don't want to really go down that rabbit hole, but is the whole GMO thing.
Right.
We could probably do a whole hour on that, so we don't need to go there. But I will just say that pretty much any corn, even organic corn, there's a grain mill in Montana, not terribly far from here, just a few hours, that they have a big operation, and a large part of what they're doing is organic corn. And they admit that up to a third of the corn that's being brought into them organic, they're testing, and it's GMO. It's not organic. So to me, the corn is so contaminated that I just don't want to mess with it. I don't want my animals eating it. I just want to stay away from it. So yeah, that's where it comes from.
Yeah. Hats off to you. It's the whole wording of everything, right? So you can, I guess in theory, organically grow a GMO seed. Would that be correct?
Yeah. Absolutely. GMO and organic are not the same thing, for sure.
Right.
Well,
exactly.
Yeah. A seed, I guess the product can be GMO, but because it's GMO, it's not legally organic, if that makes sense. But it doesn't necessarily mean it was sprayed.
Right.
If it's GMO, it probably doesn't need to be sprayed.
Right. And that's what I'm kind of getting on this play of words. That I mean, like the whole commercial definition of free range chickens is incredibly ridiculous. And that's where I was going. And even with the whole pasture raised, kind of like with the pigs, the pasture raised can mean a lot of things. You could have pigs or any animal out on pasture being raised on pasture with a feeder there filled up with commercial feed every day, or corn or whatever, but they're being pasture raised. And so, as you know, what we were trying to do with our pigs was we were trying to pasture raise, pasture feed. And so it's amazing how the play on words can really be a big play on words.
Right.
Yeah.
And I just want to also say this, that I don't cast judgment on those that are using a corn or GMO feed, because I know in some areas people don't have access to other options, and it's really hard for us. I've been trying to find an alternative to alfalfa, and it's really difficult to find anything. So I don't want to come off like I'm, being judgmental towards those that are using it. And, some people may not mind that they have a GMO product for their animal. That's just our personal decision, that we just didn't want that for ours. But, I'm not telling someone they're wrong because they're not doing that. So I just want to make that clear.
I completely agree. And in fact, in that pastured is it pastured hog or pastured pig?
Pasture hog.
Pasture hog group that I was talking about on Facebook. I even put in there what we were trying to do, but everybody has their own what works for them, and it doesn't make me right or wrong, and it doesn't make you right or wrong. It's whatever you can do. And I think if somebody doesn't have the room to 100% pasture raise an animal, I don't think they're wrong for keeping it in a smaller area and having to feed them commercial feed and stuff. it really is whatever works for you and whatever you're comfortable with. Nobody's right, nobody's wrong.
Right. And no matter what, this is something I learned. I don't know if you guys are familiar much with permaculture, but I got really into studying permaculture a while back. I still am, but I was taking a workshop down in Texas, and it was about urban permaculture design. And there were a lot of people in our similar situation that wanted to start homesteading, but just didn't have the resources or the land at the time. And some people were saying, oh, well, I want to grow my own vegetables and stuff, but my neighbors are spraying chemicals and there's, chemicals in the watershed that come through. Should I just not garden? And the instructor's response was, anything you grow on your property at your house, no matter what those external circumstances are, the outcome is going to be significantly better for you and your family, what you're eating, versus anything you're going to buy in the grocery. So to your point, Mike, what you're saying, if you don't have 10 acres and you're on a half acre or whatever, and you have a little pen in the back for the goats and that's all you can do, and you're giving them commercial feed, I promise you the end product is going to be healthier for your family than anything you're buying in the store. That's
100% agree. 100%.
Yeah.
That's, I've really started, when I talk to people, I'm like, man, you got 2 acres? Well, you should grow
a lot on 2 acres.
You should grow your own, grow up some chickens and throw a pig in a pen and harvest your own pork, and people are like, well, I've only got 2 acres. Well, if your zoning allows it and whatever, you could do a lot on 2 acres if you want, and you might not be able to do the pasture fed and stuff, but you can do a lot on 2 acres.
We had a lot of friends in our old neighborhood who had the maximum number of chickens they could on 1/5 of an acre, and they built runs in their backyard and they let the chickens run around the yard. Actually, our friends Erica and Erica are doing it right now, and all their chickens have survived, I guess, almost a year. They're doing great, and they have nice fresh eggs for their kids. It's great.
Oh yeah, and we're loving the duck eggs.
Nice.
And I think, Dan, you might know, my son's allergic to, and everybody might know, my son's allergic to chicken egg whites and the protein in cow's milk.
Found that out after we moved.
After we moved here, right? But now we got ducks and the duck eggs and all that, and we don't even eat chicken eggs at all for anything anymore. But every once in a while we'll fry them up. We have extra, so.
You mentioned in, I think it was your 2016 review video, that you were getting rid of all the chickens. Have you?
Most of them. There's a couple of them that they get a free for all. They get to hang out.
They got for life pardon.
For the most part, I mean, we're running, there's somewhere between like 30 and 40 chickens out there, just so we can feed them every day. I mean, we really don't do anything with them.
We do sell the extra eggs. I got some coworkers that buy eggs and all that, but it's causing a lot of unnecessary work for us.
It is, and taking up a good portion of the barn to have that size of a coop to be able to accommodate everybody. Right. So there's really no point in having them anymore. There are some that I can not let go.
We have not downsized as of yet. We keep like next weekend let's start, and we just
the weekend comes and the weekend goes, and it's like, wait,
but
what do we do?
In the end, we'll probably have 5 to 8 chickens or so.
Depends on who you talk to.
I say 3 to 5.
And I say somewhere between like 8 and 10.
So yeah,
it'll probably be about 5. I know that there's 3 for sure that are not going, and a couple others that I like. So we'll see, but about 5.
But we're also downsizing our sheep. We have somebody we've actually sold them. We're not downsizing. We're getting rid of our sheep because, we're just feeding them.
Yeah, I can't. The plan for the sheep was to do something with the wool, which is great. I mean, I love my yarn crafts and stuff, but we brewed our one sheep and then just kind of held on to it. I haven't done anything with it, and I just don't have the time. So I can't do anything with that. And then the other purpose was they were going to be for meat, and we got 2 of the same kinds of sheep from a friend and butchered them, and I can't eat them.
There's very little meat, and
I can't do it. So
okay, hold on a second. Hold on. You can't do it because you knew the sheep, or
I didn't know those sheep, but they're the same sheepies as my sheepies, and so I know that I would never be able to eat my sheepies. So yeah, no, they just gotta go.
Dan, I think you just brought up a good point. I didn't quite hear you, but what did you say?
Yeah, I know based on emailing and conversations with Mike in the past that you kind of had some difficulty, as I did when we were going through the slaughtering process with the sheep, Jenny, that you had kind of, I guess, just some, I wouldn't say regret or anything, but just, it was difficult going through the process of processing the pigs for you, but you eat the pork though, is that right?
I do, yes.
It's bacon. That's different.
I do.
They're just pigs, right?
It's different to a point because the sheep I know can go somewhere where they're not going to get butchered. They're going to be loved for the way they are. The pigs, they were either going to be purchased and raised and butchered by us or by somebody else. That was their purpose.
That's a really
So
good
was your
point.
mindset going into it then?
Yeah. So
That's interesting.
it's in my mind anyways, it's different because I know that the sheep are going to fulfill their life on their terms.
The person that we found to buy the sheep, she wants to basically
have a flock of them.
Add them to her farm, and she's almost got, it seems like, I wouldn't call it a sanctuary, but it almost seems like she's got this whole sanctuary for what she's talked about.
And they won't be butchered or anything like that. That won't be their purpose. Their purpose will be to be loved. And where the pigs, no matter whether it was from us or somebody else, they were going to be raised for 6 months. They were going to be butchered.
Got it.
It's a little different.
And she loves bacon. So.
And I love bacon. I want
the sheep don't really have the bacon like the pigs do. So.
Don't.
Now, Dan, one thing you and I kind of talked about in emails, I see Off-Grid Doug and Stacy told Tracy to look into the Dexter cow. So I want to throw this in real quick. You just did a video on, it was the Dexter cows, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. And it had me jumping on Craigslist immediately looking for some Dexter cows.
Yeah, and he was like, "Oh, look, here's." I'm like, "Yeah, okay. Well, we have no fence for them, so you have to wait." So yeah.
So,
but it's something we want to look into.
Yeah.
Yeah. The whole Dexter thing started for me a couple years ago, long before we moved on the homestead. I was trying to find appropriate scale livestock for us because I knew, we're not going to be moving on to 100 acres and, that kind of thing. So our scale in our minds was going to be more just food for ourselves. So what kind of animals would be appropriate for that scale? And Dexter's kind of came up my search. I'd never heard of them before. And apparently they're the only breed of miniature cattle that aren't really miniature. They're naturally that way. They weren't bred to be small, but there's a mini Jersey that was bred from, I guess, the smaller Jerseys that were being born, I guess, over generations. They weren't like a true breed per se. And I just started reading more and more about this animal, but there didn't seem to be a whole lot going on YouTube about it. I mean, there'd be some home videos about it and this and that, but there just wasn't like a tremendous amount of resources out there about the animal, like seeing it and their scale to standing next to a human, that kind of thing. I get it. I can read the numbers. Okay, they're small, but I need to see it and feel it, kind of thing. And I found Katie Austin, this great farmer that's in our local area. Well, she's in our region anyway. It was a long drive to get there, but she's raising Dexter cattle, Jerseys for her milk operation. She has a big cheese and dairy operation that she's doing, and she has Nubian goats for her dairy, Katahdin sheep, which is what we have, or had, I should say. We butchered ours and we're getting our breeding stock pretty soon, hopefully. But what else was it? And the American guinea hogs. So I thought she had like these, what I would consider like the dream team of homestead scale livestock. I was just really intrigued by it. So I visited her. I went there last year for an unrelated visit, and that's what really got me.
Cheese cave.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah, she has a cheese cave. Which
now Elliot thinks, little buddy thinks that all cheese comes from the cheese cave.
So
yeah.
Yeah. So
it comes from the store.
So anyway, we're one of the animals that we're adding to our homestead this year is American guinea hog, and she being a registered breeder for them, I thought it'd be great to go out there, talk to her, and learn about the hogs. And then while we're making arrangements to make those plans, I said, is there any way we can go see the Dexters too? Because she grazes them off-site at a remote location. She doesn't have enough space on her farm. And so yeah, come on out. So we made the drive over there and we got to see them. And the first video I made was about 20 minutes long, and I edited a lot down just to get it to that length. And most of what I edited out was on the Dexters. Because my focus was more on the American guinea hogs for that visit, but I had so much content. I got so much feedback from the audience about these awesome cattle, the Dexters. I thought, you know what? I have enough content for another 20, 25 minutes video here. So I just went for it and put another one out. And that's probably the one that you were referring to.
Yeah, and you're right. You can look at those numbers all day long, but until I saw your video and I saw like you standing next to one, I was like, oh my gosh, that's a really small cow.
Yeah, my son, when I was filming, I was trying to get it to where you could see like the top of his head was just coming over their backs. I mean, and you know, he's 3 foot.
Oh, he's like
8.
almost 4 feet tall. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I was trying to show the scale, like how small they really are, and yeah. So it's really appealing for the beginning homesteader. Or someone first getting into cattle, where you're not dealing with this massive animal. You have something,
right.
You know, they're still big. Don't get me wrong. They're still cattle versus, say, you know, a sheep. But yeah, they're a lot smaller, a lot less intimidating. They're docile, and they're going to require a lot less feed, which is really big for somebody on a smaller scale.
And I think in that video, well, there's 2 things that I took out in that video that I found really interesting. I had no idea about the A1, A2 milk. I had no idea about any of that. But the other thing I think she had said in that video was where you might have one regular sized cow, let's say on an acre, you could have 2 or 3 Dexters. Is that what I remember?
I think that's about right. She said it in the video, but it's escaping me the exact numbers. But yeah, I guess it depends on your pasture quality and everything. But I think that's about right.
But yeah, I had no idea about the whole A1, A2 milk thing, and it makes me wonder. Andrew is also allergic to the protein in cow's milk, and casein, is that what it is? And
yep.
And I'm wondering if the A2 quality would be okay for him.
Right, and bringing that up, that makes me think of an issue too. When we were in Atlanta and we had joined that farm I was telling you about earlier, we were drinking their raw milk, and it was from Jerseys, and there were no issues at all. And then after we moved to Idaho, we found a new dairy farmer, and all of a sudden little Buddy started having casein intolerance. And I hadn't thought of that before now, as you're mentioning it, but maybe that shift, it was just a different cow it was coming from.
Right. Yeah. And then the whole A1, half A2 and all that stuff could make a difference.
Right. The ones in may have been A2, and then the ones we switched to here were not. So yeah.
After I saw that in your video, I haven't gotten to it yet, but I keep meaning to fire up the old Google machine and look into that. But one other thing I was gonna kind of ask you guys about, and you and I had kind of talked about it, Dan, and you said it was fine. But what did you used to do, and kind of what is your guys' family dynamics now? And I think you know what I'm talking about, what I'm asking there.
Yeah, kind of our situation. It's challenging. I left a career in law enforcement in Atlanta. I was having a really good career there, but I was really, really drawn to this lifestyle and homesteading. I wanted to do that, and we really wanted to move to Idaho. In fact, the video I'm going to publish today, it's in my pocket right now. I just got to get it on the computer when we get off. Because I've gotten this request to make a video about how we came to be Idaho homesteaders. So that one's coming out today. So
how do you fit a video in your pocket exactly?
Yeah.
Here, I'll show you.
A thumb drive.
Yeah.
Easy.
So,
Funny.
sorry, thrown off here. So Ashley, She would commute to work every day.
Oh my God. I drove 30,000 miles a year in Atlanta. It was awful.
In the traffic. Just terrible.
Air conditioning eventually broke. And I was kind of like, I think I'm done with this.
My commute wasn't bad.
You're 10 miles.
Yeah, it was 10 to 12
Perfect.
miles. And I always left super early in the morning to beat the traffic, which allowed me to leave early. So I got home before the traffic started. Worked out fine. But little buddy was in daycare. I wasn't really keen on that. He had conflicts there. It wasn't.
He didn't cause the conflict.
Yeah.
One day, one of the other kids there bit him on the cheek, and like he has, obviously you've seen some rather squishy cheeks. Got them from mom. But this little girl turned and was like, you're so cute. I'm just going to take a chunk out of your cheek. And we were just so dismayed with the reaction of the daycare owner and the other parents. Are kind of like, we don't think we want our kid to grow up with this necessarily. Maybe we want to be around more like-minded people whose kids don't bite. That's a big thing for us.
Right. Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Not into biting.
So I knew homeschooling was a long-term goal of ours. We wanted to get him into that. And Ashley is in the software industry, and her salary was better than mine. And so she got this job offer, kind of an internal promotion where she could work from home
Travel.
and travel some. So it'd be, splitting that up. And her boss, or her soon-to-be new boss in that timeline, had said he didn't mind where we lived. It didn't matter.
Everyone was remote. We all traveled.
Yeah, so we just had to get to an airport. So we had been wanting to move for a long time and actively working on it all the time. And then this door opened up.
Yeah.
And Ashley called me. She told me about the job opportunity. And she said, this is it. This is our opportunity. So we seized it and went for it. And so the challenge, it was a difficult transition. At first when we moved, I didn't have the homestead lined up. We found a rental house, and we thought we'd be in that just a few months, and then before we found our next homestead, where we actually get to work and all that. And it took a lot longer than that. It took a really long time. Like I said, It was 2 years before we actually got moved on. So that part of the transition, for me, I didn't waste that time. I spent a lot of it reading and researching a lot of the knowledge I have now. But it wasn't necessarily where I wanted to be. We were still kind of in suburbia. But the real hard transition was actually when we moved onto the homestead, because Ashley was traveling sometimes as much as 4 days a week. And now I had all this additional responsibility, plus little buddy, taking care of him and doing all that, and the animals, setting up fencing and all that stuff. So that was kind of a challenge. We've worked out a really good routine though. It took just probably, 2 to 3 weeks of, really trying to figure out the balance, how to work all this out. But once we got in the swing of it, we got in a really good routine, and we're pretty smoothed out now. It's challenging because, several days a week I'm a single parent doing all this, which is, and plus the YouTube channel on top of it all, that's no small time commitment. So it's certainly a lot of challenge, but we're up for it, and everything's going pretty well. It's
amazing how much time putting up YouTube videos takes. It's insane. And people like you and I see Doug and Stacy are on here, and lots of other people put up daily videos, and I struggle to get a video a week out.
Yeah.
Well, you also have a lot more kids than we do. We have
the one.
And we have grandma.
Well, that's all true too, but
we
Jenny handles all that.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I'm obviously interacting with my kids and all that stuff,
We're kids.
but Jenny is the stay-at-home mom, and she's Jenny. I just recently made a Facebook post last night, actually, talking about how much Jenny actually does do around here and how little I do. And it's mostly centered on me being at work 40, 50 hours a week. And a lot of the things that we do around here are my idea, and I want to implement them. And I may bust my butt to get them implemented, but then I hand it off.
It all just comes right here, and I get to just keep it going.
I'm hoping one day to feel just to be here. I would love
when I
that.
leave.
But now Jenny had come up with some questions for you guys. I don't know if she wants to take one or two of these questions in, babe, or.
Yeah, sure. Well, here, let's do this then. What would you consider your greatest success so far in the homestead?
Greatest success? Well, I know Daniel has one. I would say, from my perspective, keeping all the chickens alive. We lost one chicken who was, we think, sick when it came home to us. But we know a lot of people have major issues with predation, and we were able to build the right structures and systems to keep all the chickens alive. And we also did a great job. Well, Daniel set up a great irrigation system for our garden. And while the garden was kind of a fail because we planted it before we moved in, we were so busy when we moved in that we didn't tend it the way that we should have. And I'm a little bit of a hoarder, and I definitely hoarded some plants in the garden. We probably should have culled half of them, and we didn't. So my fault.
I can get sucked into that myself. It's like, oh my gosh, we're growing this. Why would we do it?
But the 8 different types, of course I need 11 different varieties of tomatoes because I don't know which one I'm going to want to eat a certain day. So I gotta have one of everything. Not really, like maybe 3 or 4.
So the garden itself
wasn't
the success, but the drip irrigation system.
The drip irrigation system was phenomenal, especially if you live in a hot or humid place like Atlanta. Put in a little simple irrigation system, not very expensive, like maybe $100, pretty easy, takes 3 or 4 hours to set up everything and get it in great working order. And you don't have to water your garden every day. And I overwatered a garden. I killed a garden by loving it too much a few years ago. So that's, it comes out to be kind of expensive if you're buying a lot of nice organic soil at our favorite big box home goods store, whose color is orange, where I used to work.
Smothered with love.
Yes, that's totally not how that goes here. I'm like, yeah, whatever, we'll water later. I don't want to.
Where we've been set up in the past,
it's so far from the house.
It's so far from the house, and where we put the pigs to rip up the garden, is very close to the house, and we should do better with watering this year.
Yeah, this year should be.
We haven't had an issue with needing water, but I have toted down water down there, and we've had a water pump hooked up to a battery. And thank you, darling. So water has been a challenge here for us, and drip irrigation being closer to the house here, where I can just run a hose down there, or even some other stuff that I'm working on. But drip irrigation is definitely something I've been looking into.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before I answer what I think our greatest success was, just to mention what you're talking about there at the drip irrigation, the kit I bought was dripworks.com, I think, and you can just get really cheap polyline tubing, and it attaches. They give you a little attachment, and it attaches right to your hose bib, so you can run hundreds of feet, and it's a fraction of the cost of a garden hose, just because it's just a plastic black tubing, and run that down to the garden, and then from there you can run your smaller ones off that have the drip emitters on it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so my opinion on our greatest success homesteading was raising our sheep, having essentially no problems. Like, nobody died, no one got sick.
Yeah.
Everybody made it to harvest. We successfully harvested. There, I it's kind of struggled with that process a little bit, the first time doing that, and I made the mistake of they mentally shifted into pets in my mind.
I never got involved with them like that.
Yeah, Ashley had good boundaries. I didn't, because I was out there every day with them all the time, and they got really comfortable with me, and yeah, they were almost dog-like. So that was difficult. But at the end of the day, we put up 100 and
a ton of meat,
like about 120 pounds of our own lamb meat that we raised, and as a side goal, I sold the other 2. That was a goal of mine. I wanted to see if I could develop a market. I wanted to see if I could start learning the business end of it. I've read all about it, but I got to do it to really learn it. So that was a little side goal of mine. So the fact that I raised them all got them to slaughter, had a really great harvest, a really great product in the end, and was able to meet my goal of selling the 2 of them. And now we have meat in the freezer that we raised. To me, that's just the most amazing thing in the world. That's just a really, really huge accomplishment.
Yeah, I completely understand what you're saying. The first meats that we put in the freezer, and even this year with the pigs, it's rough. Jenny kept her boundaries this year with those pigs a lot, because the first pigs that we did in the winter of 2015, Jenny got extremely attached to those pigs, and when they went to butcher, she had a very hard time with that. So these pigs this year, she'd helped with the chores and all that, but she didn't play with them and rub their bellies. And our pigs before, we were rubbing bellies, they'd roll over for us and all that, and it made it really hard to take them to the butcher.
I'd hold the hose like a sprinkler so they could play it. I was not doing that again, and that was a hard lesson learned right there.
But that sense of accomplishment when you do put that meat in the freezer, and you're going to the freezer and grabbing dinner, something that you grew.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And getting jars of food off our pantry shelves and having a whole homegrown meal.
Yeah.
It's
a lot of work, but it's definitely worth it.
Somebody on the chat had asked about, who was that? About our 2017 goals?
Wheat Tree Bonsai.
Wheat Tree Bonsai. We are actually in the process of working out a video, and we should have that out in a couple days, I hope.
Yeah.
Of our 2017 goals.
Yeah,
but
the whole list of it.
Do you want to?
A couple things we're gonna do. Well, like we had the pigs move the garden, so our garden layout's gonna be a lot different this year. We're also, some stuff we're cutting back on. Like we don't need 12 varieties of peppers just growing in the garden.
I don't know what I'm gonna need day to day, right, Ashley?
Exactly. You got to be prepared.
We don't need 12 different peppers. So some stuff, there's a lot of garden changes that are coming this year.
Getting more focused on what we need to put on that shelf to feed us through the winter.
Yep. And then also selling off the sheep, rearranging it, and just kind of getting a better idea of what livestock is good for us here and what we actually need and will have a purpose for, instead of just feeding animals everything. Right. So,
and that's going to be an ongoing process for years. It's probably going to take years to figure out that balance of, okay, we only need 3 goats, we don't really need 5, and then who knows? By the time we figure that out, maybe our needs have changed, and oh my gosh, it's not 5 we need, it's 7 that we need at that point. Or
yeah, we're not gonna.
It's going to be an ongoing process, but we're hoping to start getting it really refined, really concentrate on what are our needs and what is it exactly we want to do.
Yeah, and I think another big focus this year is going to be trying to find ways for income on the homestead to start those steps of Mike being able to be home and drive me crazy every day.
Oh.
Because I don't drive her crazy enough.
It's okay. By the time that he's home, all the kids will be in school. So then I'll have all the time. He can do all the homestead work, and I'll just take my horse for a ride. So it'll work out.
That sounds like a great.
I like that plan.
The whole Mike being home thing, that'll take years and years and years.
But working towards it and trying to get a plan of, okay, we need to do this and this and this to be able to work towards that, I think is a good start.
Yeah. Yep. Is there anything you'd like to talk about, Dan?
Well, as far as our plans are for moving forward, we are definitely getting guinea hogs this year. Right now, we're just kind of waiting for the ground to thaw enough to where we can put in some fencing for them. We have a couple feet of snow on the ground still, and
more falling.
Yeah, it's snowing right now.
It's beautiful.
So I had this thought in my mind, let's just get them now. Let's just do it. And then I'm like, the only place where I have any fencing set up right now that could contain them is our winter chicken yard where the chickens are. And we just have these visions of the pigs eating the chickens. So
yeah, this would not be good.
Yeah, the bullets.
our chickens would go in with the pigs all the time. The pigs, they didn't bother each other. I even saw them on a pig's back one day.
Yep.
Well, that's good. The guy that we've bought hogs from before, processed meat, not the actual animal. He keeps all his animals together, and he said that he loses about a chicken a day to his hogs.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, he's in the egg selling business.
Oh no.
How's that going for you? Kill more of the pig.
Okay, Tracy, I just saw Tracy left a comment over here. Do not raise the pigs.
Yeah,
with
we're
the chickens.
definitely not raising the pigs with the chickens. Our chickens are heritage French chickens, and they cost a little more than a pretty decent bottle of wine, and they will not go near the pigs. They were a big investment, and they're beautiful. They're actually really, really big too. And with all of the time that Daniel has put into them, we're extremely protective.
Yeah. Oh no, I completely understand that. Our generally speaking, I think our chickens just stayed away from the pigs, but our chickens have free roam wherever they want to go, and so.
Oh, that's nice.
But
the pigs don't.
But the pigs don't. Right? No, the pigs don't have free roam. No. But they'd be in their paddocks or whatever. But the chickens would end up, especially when we moved the pigs to the new garden area and let them tear that up for us. Your face is glowing. In the sun, baby.
I'm albino, but like I'm not that albino. The sun has finally emerged after like a week and a half of not being out here, and of course it comes blasting in the window right now.
You can get a tan sitting on YouTube.
But when we moved the pigs to the garden, which is right next to the pasture, and we let them tear that all up for us. I mean, that's a main thorough way for the chickens or whatever, and they would end up in the pig pen all the time, and I don't know, picking up their scraps. I guess all those pigs don't leave too many scraps.
I think if we did have a free range chicken set up, it would probably work out better in that sense. But for us, the way our property lies and where the wooded area is, it's so close, and we have a lot of wildlife like right on the edge of our property. So I'm not ready for free range in the chickens yet. So.
Oh yeah, no, and everybody does it. In fact, our free range chickens and our free range ducks did a lot of damage to our crops this year.
Yeah,
we had a little wheat plot set up, probably 30 by 50 or 50 by 50 or something, and the chickens and ducks went through there, and we had no wheat. We had standing straw, and
not even much of that. We still couldn't even harvest it for straw.
Right, and then the ducks and chickens did some damage on our corn, but mostly the duck.
They ate the majority of our tomatoes. We still harvested a lot of tomatoes. We got 104 pints of sauce made. So we overall had a lot of tomatoes, but we could have had twice that much, if not more. But the ducks and the chickens went and ate all the red tomatoes, and then when the red tomatoes were gone, they ate all the green tomatoes.
I think that was mostly the chickens on the tomatoes. What the ducks did is they walked through the garden and they walked right down the middle of my onion row, and they knocked all the green tops of the onions over, and that really stunted the growth of all my onions. They came out great and they're fine, but they damaged. So
those ducks, gotta have them. But
so there are definitely dangers to free ranging, and then we also lost a chicken to a hawk not too long ago.
Oh goodness, that's sad.
Yeah, I saw that on Facebook. I think you had it.
Yeah,
I'm really sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it was. I was actually making a video on something else. I can't remember, but then I saw a hawk. It was really weird. Jenny and we saw the hawk earlier in the day. It was on a fence post.
Mm-hmm.
It was on the horse's fence post. And we were like, well, that's kind of odd, but what a beautiful animal that is. And then
really pretty.
And then later, when I walked back around to the boy goat area, I saw him snacking on a chicken. And everybody's got to eat, right? But it is hard to see your chicken being eaten.
Right.
And it was one of them that I wanted to keep in the 5 to 8 that we wanted to keep.
3 to 5, whatever.
5 to 8, whatever. I think 5 is going to be the number. It's the only one that we agree on.
But one thing we have not tried yet is we have not sampled duck meat yet, and that is on the.
Really? Ever, or from your own ducks?
I don't believe I ever have.
I've
I don't
never
believe.
had it.
Oh, it goes great with cherries.
Oh, all
I
right.
don't like cherries.
We-
I like bacon.
Jenny
We
is
have
a
to
very picky eater. Jenny is very picky.
I've always said that if it's not bacon and it's not chocolate, I won't eat it.
That's fantastic. That is a perfect diet right there.
I think so.
I love it.
But we've actually, we'll look into that too. But people have been giving us quite a bit of some duck recipes to try out. We gotta get to that point to try one.
Well, you could do a turducken for Christmas next year too.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
We've actually talked about. We were never going to because we're not big turkey fans, but we are actually kind of talking about possibly doing a couple turkeys this year.
Nice.
I would much rather have a ham for Christmas or Thanksgiving or anything else than turkey. But we don't dislike turkey.
It's just not our favorite.
Not our favorite.
Well, but ham from your own farm is much better than a turkey from.
That's true.
Now, a couple of years ago, I think I've mentioned this in some videos. There's a guy down the road that I got an antique corn sheller from, and then he and I just started talking, and he raised some cows, and I got a little bit of beef off of him. And then he called us. Was that two Thanksgivings ago?
Yeah.
He called us, and he's like, "Hey, there's a couple days before Thanksgiving," and he's like, "No, those turkeys I was raising. Well, I got one sitting here for you, all processed, ready to go." I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, how much do I owe you?" And he's like, "No, just come pick it up. It's for you guys. Happy Thanksgiving." So we had a free homegrown, that was a 19-pound bird?
19-pound turkey.
19-pound turkey for Thanksgiving. And we loved it. We ate it. And but for us personally, we just always prefer ham.
Yeah.
Well, I will say I'm not the hugest turkey fan. I mean, I'll eat it at the holidays, that kind of thing. But getting back to ducks versus chickens, because I like chicken, but hands down ducks over chicken for me, for sure. It's
nice.
Yeah, just to throw that out there for you guys. I love it. I hope you guys do too when you try it. So,
well, and the ducks grow out really fast. I think I have 37 days in my head.
No, I thought it was like 9 weeks.
7 or 8 weeks maybe, but they're like full grown pretty quick. As far as if you're looking for a meat source.
Right. Which originally we hatched out ducks, and the plan was to have them for meat, just keep our 4 laying hens that we had, and then we end up with a bunch of hens. And I was like, oh well, I want to increase the amount of hens that we have to have extra eggs because family's starting to consume more, and then we ended up bartering with a friend and gave him a couple of the ducks because he wanted to start his own duck flock. And we're like, okay, you can have a couple ducks. And then one hen went missing, and we still have no idea what happened to her. And it's kind of like, well, now we can't eat any of the ducks because we need what we have, so we got to start over.
We probably will end up butchering one of these that we do have. But yeah, she's right. We're down to a number now that we get the right amount of eggs. It's not too much, and it's definitely not too little on the eggs. And the ducks are religious egg layers. They, generally speaking, an egg a day for us.
Oh, wow. How old are your ducks?
The first ones they're over a year old, aren't they? Or no?
Oh yeah. We got the first ones.
The April after we moved here. So April will be 2 years.
Right.
They'll be 2, and then the other ones we hatched out this past spring.
Right.
So I think in May they'll be a year old.
Right.
And they lay, pretty much all 8 hens lay every day almost. So the 4, I guess they're pekins. I call them pekins, but they're pekins. They lay every day. All winter, it doesn't matter. They lay every day. They're awesome.
And then the mix that we have, the younger ones are a mix between the what?
The rowan and the
pekin.
They
lay pretty good. Maybe not as great,
often,
but we get at least six duck eggs a day out of those 8 hens.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
so we go ahead.
I was just gonna say we are interested in adding ducks as well, and what was that? Meat. Yeah, I am. Meat rabbits. I'm recently gotten interested
I
in
don't know
that.
if I could do it either. I don't know.
Jenny's
I had rabbits as pets when I was a kid.
Exactly. That's it. I had rabbits as a pet, and we have a rabbit on our sun porch. I can't do that. My mind will not wrap around
I
that.
don't think I could.
And
I think it sounds like a great. I'm with Dan. I think it sounds like a great.
At first I had no interest in it. In fact, one of our viewers, when we first started, Brian Philbrook, had mentioned, that's great, now you need some rabbits. And I thought, rabbits? I don't need rabbits. I have no interest in that. They're way too cute. Can't do it.
They're so cute and soft.
But the more I've learned about them and how quick you get that meat production, put the cuteness on the shelf for a minute here and just look at like the production numbers and how quickly they finish out and how much meat you can put up and how fast, and the relatively low input costs. It's very enticing from that perspective.
And then the collection of all the manure for the garden. I keep reading all this great rabbit manure for the garden.
Well, we have one rabbit, and you can collect the poop all you want, but not eating them. So.
Right. And we don't have any formal plans to do this year, but if we can work it in, getting back to the Dexters earlier, I really, really would love to add some of those. So I'm not saying that's a goal for us this year because
we have a lot of things we need to do.
Yeah, but that is something on the horizon, just not sure how far out.
And I would like bees.
Yeah, she's really interested in the bees.
Yes, I would really like bees.
We are going to double down on bees this year.
Oh, good for you. That's awesome.
The hive last year had its issues. The queen ended up not laying any eggs, and the queen ended up missing.
What was she doing?
I don't know.
Hanging out.
So to counteract that, we're going to do 2 hives this year.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm kind of with Dan on the cows. We planted a couple of acres of grass hay back there for the horse, and I told Jenny, I said, I don't think we can grow enough hay for this horse.
Yeah.
I think we need to just buy into the idea that we're going to be buying hay for the horse. So that leaves a couple acres of grass back there that I wouldn't mind putting a cow or 2 on.
And I think the mental transition that you guys made in your 2016 review video, you're talking about switching the horse from homestead to pet status.
Right.
That helps, right?
It does. The horse is no longer in the homestead finances. It's in the Jenny's pet finances.
Yep.
We have a chiropractor too. So, horses and people need little adjustments every now and then.
I've never been to a chiropractor, but my horse has.
That's
so
really interesting.
she's actually next week. So yeah. But
horse chiropractor. Oh, let's talk about horse.
I'm sorry.
Is she feeling better?
Yeah, he's doing really good. He had vertebrae and his pelvic bones were completely out of place, and he had scar tissue built up around him. So I could see when he was walking, he was actually slamming one of his hind hooves down because it was very painful.
Poor guy.
Causing bruising and all sorts of issues. But he is doing better. He's held on to his first adjustment very well. The chiropractor will be out this next week to do his second adjustment, and then he should hopefully only need 1 more after that. But he is definitely feeling a lot better. In fact, today, for whatever reason, he decided to go roll, and we've had a week of rain, so it's nice and
nasty today.
He is so disgusting. I was like,
like a horse spa, get a mud bath.
He was successful on that. He is nothing but mud. I have to go brush. It's gross.
Jenny and the farrier Jenny has been working with, which is actually a friend of Jenny's from an old job, and the chiropractor, everything. That horse is feeling really good. Jenny took him out for a ride the other day, and he's doing real good. We got the shoes off of him, and the farrier's really been working on him and really doing some proactive stuff for the, what's it called? Navicular, yeah. Doing some proactive stuff for that, and the horse. You can tell the horse is feeling really, really good.
He is. He's doing really good.
And eating lots of hay.
Yeah, he's doing that too.
Yeah, they do that.
Chiropractors and farriers.
I stopped at the chiropractor. I could have had the massage therapist come out. I could have had the body worker come out. I stopped with the chiropractor, and we'll see how he does with this. So I'm not piling everything on at once. I could seriously spend so much stuff on him and for him, not because he needs it, but just more because I want it. And I do refrain from doing that. So he should be very happy because we could be a lot more broke than we are.
I'm going to shut down the horse talk here. I would like to remind everybody that's watching that Dan and Ashley's, all their information is in the description of this video, all their website, their YouTube channel, Instagram, Facebook, all of it's in the description of this, so please go check them out. And Dan, I got one question for you guys. Do you guys miss anything from your past urban lifestyle?
Well, the first thing that comes to mind is our
internet. We both miss cable internet a lot.
Because we're on a hotspot where we are, and the hotspot works great. Don't get me wrong,
great, but the bill not so great.
Yeah, and we have those data limitations, so we have to be really careful.
It's another car payment
with our usage. Really? So yeah, internet, and I would say proximity to convenience, as far as I'd say maybe like community events, or we actually do have, like, the Home Depot is fairly close, so that's not a burden. We have that kind of thing, but it's, where we haven't made a lot of friends where we are now.
We haven't been here very long. We've been very busy.
Right. But where we moved from, that's where everyone is still, and that's where anything that's ever going on is, way down in town. So there's that, just kind of that proximity thing. But so I guess convenience is the answer to that. But
I miss the gym. We had an exorbitantly nice gym. The Ray and Joan Kroc Foundation funded a gym in a huge community center that was very close to us. And I went there almost every day when I wasn't traveling. Super, super nice people. I mean, the whole place is founded around the Salvation Army's mission to serve God. And I miss that. Daniel does not miss the next thing, but I really do. We had a heated garage, and I really miss the heated garage, because when I get up at 5 a.m. to go to the airport, my car would be nice and warm. And now I have to shovel it out, but it's okay. All good.
We lived in a rental house that was the model home for the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Before we moved into it. So it had some of those upgrades, like the little cadet heaters in the garage and stuff like that. So
yeah, it was nice.
Now we don't even have a garage that we can park in. So.
Yeah, it's okay.
You'll get there.
We ditched cable TV even about a year before we moved out here. Mm-hmm. And that was a big adjustment for me, because I love the History Channel, H2, Discovery, Nat Geo. Those are like my go-to channels to watch. And then there's nothing on TV now.
Yeah.
Half the time, the little bit of, I think we get like 5 channels. One might work, and it usually has cartoons.
Right.
So kind of like, well, there goes that.
But getting rid of the cable was, we were paying for, how many channels were we paying for?
159 or something, right?
Right, exactly. And we were watching 3 to 5, And so we kept the cable internet before moving out here, but we ditched the TV, and that knocked well over $100 a month off our bill.
Yeah.
And so we kind of got used to all that before we even moved out here. And then out of the 5 main broadcast stations, we only get about 2 out here.
Yeah.
If everything's aligned right, 3 or 4 of them work, but generally it's just 2 or 3. But especially in the summertime, we're finding the TV doesn't even really get turned on, especially in the spring, summer, and fall. So
if I'm really interested in the weather, I'll try to catch the news in the evening just to see what's going on for the weather. Like if I know storms are coming or something.
Yeah.
Other than that, that's it.
But nowadays we got your smartphones, and anything you want to know, you don't have to sit down and watch TV. You just pull it up on your. Oh, all right, cool. So,
that's what we do.
Yeah, and I would also agree on the proximity type thing. We have some stuff that's relatively close to us, but if we need any box stores or anything, we've got a 20 to 30 minute drive to get to. So,
yeah. Nothing super convenient.
Is there anything? We are not like way out there or anything. No. But is there anything you kind of miss from like, we lived in a really nice town. In fact, we really liked where we lived.
We did.
It was a beautiful town, Tecumseh, Michigan. We tell everybody we loved the school the kids were in. We loved where we lived. We loved the neighborhood. We loved everything. So we packed up and moved.
We moved.
Yeah.
Makes no
That's
sense.
what you do, right? When you have that situation. So
Right.
I don't think that there's anything that I do miss. I drive back to that town once a week because the girls are in dance, and we love their dance teacher. So I make the commute once a week for their dance class. And there's some days I'm like, how do you people drive? What is wrong with you? It's like I can't be. And it's not even a big city or anything like that. It's a town, and I can't handle it there. So driving into the big cities, I can't.
Yeah.
I just can't do it. Like I can't go through the big cities anymore. When I drove to Missouri, I had to go through like Indianapolis, and I went through Louisville, and I went through some other. I think we went like on the outskirts of St. Louis, coming back and stuff. I thought I was gonna have a heart attack driving through there. That was crazy.
Yeah.
I'll stick to my maybe 4 cars on our road.
It drives me crazy when I got to drive up to not Detroit, but close to Detroit, the suburbs there, basically for training. Oh my gosh, that traffic! Oh, it's insane. I don't dig the traffic whatsoever.
No.
I went through a similar experience, Jenny, with when we left Atlanta and moved to Idaho. I went through this like decompression of, went through this experiencing peace and no traffic and relaxation. And then we visited family in Southern California, and we've been to Seattle for traveling with Ashley's work before for conferences, and just going back to the big cities. It's almost shocking just to be back in it. It's like, oh my gosh, I forgot, like that's how I used to live every day. And to be out of it and then go back, it's a shock to the system for sure.
Yeah,
it is true.
It takes some adjusting to get back into that. Don't get run over on the road.
I see a lot of people are commenting that they have pulled the plug on cable TV as well. Or I'm seeing some, and I see the Mama Cat says they haven't had cable in over a year. Stream YouTube on my TV, and we do too. There's a lot of live content Friday, Saturday nights. So we stream we stream YouTube, and we also have Netflix and Hulu accounts. So it's not like I guess it's not like we're just stuck not watching anything, but it is nice to be able to sit down and be able to pull up something to watch sometimes.
Yeah.
And,
Right. And what I really like about YouTube is that, I'm sorry, Jane, I think I'm talking over you.
Oh, no, you're fine. Go ahead.
You can find whatever really you want, whatever you're interested in, you can get on there, and there's probably somebody out there making content for you to watch. So it's a really cool platform.
Yeah, it really is. And we've had a lot of fun with YouTube, but you're right. It almost seems like I don't use Google as much as I do anymore. I'm more like searching YouTube for the answers that I want.
Right. I think I heard Justin Rose talk about the YouTube being maybe like in the top 3 like search engines now for what people are actually using for searching. So yeah.
Cool. Yeah, it's because it's nice to be able to search something that to have that visual. I don't mind reading, and I don't mind following instructions on a web page or whatever, but when you can watch somebody do something, for me at least, it makes more sense than reading it off.
It clicks a little bit quicker. I can read all day.
Want to come say hi? Hi to everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Come here. You got to be on camera so they can see you. Come here, honey.
Hi, everybody.
Okay, you're seeing Mike and Jenny like we did earlier, but there are other people out here watching. Some of the people that watch our videos are watching right now.
Hi, little buddy. How you doing?
Hi, I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. How do you like living out there?
Because it's pretty. And
It is.
yellow jackets on my homestead.
Yeah, we have a yellow jacket. So.
I got stung by a yellow jacket. Yeah, this last summer I got stung by a yellow jacket, and my whole pinky on my finger and my hand and everything. Jenny was like, "Go to the doctor, go to the doctor." After about 5 days, it got better. I didn't go to the doctor though. But how do you like your chickens?
Because they're good, and I like the rabbits.
Oh yeah, the rabbits too. Yeah.
I see Tracy saying hi to little buddy, Flying VS Farm. No, they didn't say hi to little buddy. Duckhead, Bob, Homestead, the mama cat. Everyone's saying hi to you.
Little buddy's in the videos with you.
Hi.
Mrs. Soap Peddler's Homestead saying hi. Very cool.
Elliot, say hi, cousin Laura.
Hi, cousin Laura.
Miss Soap Peddler's Homestead there, she won our first contest, right?
Yeah.
Yep. I can't even remember what that was now, to tell you the truth. I think that was 100 subscriber giveaway.
I think it was.
Yeah.
And now we're over 4,000. It's crazy.
Yeah, we hit 4K last night. I was gonna say that about your guys' channel too. We hit 4K last night.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
That's
But-
amazing.
Thank you. But your channel has exploded.
It has.
And the reason we went over 4K last night, I have no doubt about it, is because of Life in Farmland. Life in Farmland's video. But I know, correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys did a nice charity deal around the holiday seasons. And correct me if I'm wrong, but weren't you at about 2,000 then? 2,000.
We were
less.
We were just under that. I think we were around 1,800 right before the Christmas, and then Art and Bree, the
They're
YouTube
so
channel.
nice.
Brianna,
What a sweet family.
they started watching us fairly early on. They started their channel, I think, around the same time we did ours. Maybe we started just a little bit sooner than them, I think. But they reached out to us and asked us if they wanted to participate. I think Brad from Big Family Homestead started the whole thing with raising funds for families in I forgot what town or state it was, but it was up north. And Bart and Bree took it and went with it, and they invited us to participate in their challenge. And in doing so, they talked about what we were doing on their channel, and that kind of bumped us up over to 2,000. And then we had a lot of recent growth because we were featured in Justin Rhodes' Kickstarter campaign. He's doing the Great American Farm Tour, where he and his family are packing up, moving onto a school bus that they've converted and traveling all over the country. I'm sure everyone that's watching right now is familiar with the concept. But
there seems to be an issue with the bus door right now.
I'm sorry?
There seems to be an issue with Justin's bus door right now.
Yes.
It'd be kind of an important thing to fix, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Getting on and off, things like that.
So I got an email from Justin, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks before they launched, and said, "Hey, I need a picture of you." Why, And then he's like, "Well, we're featuring you in the Kickstarter for our Great American Farm Tour." I'm like, "Really?" Like Joel Salatin, Paul Wheaton, Diego Footer, Curtis Stone, Primal Pastures, like all these huge names in sustainable ag and permaculture movement and all that. And the Grass-fed Homestead, what, I'm not sure why, but Justin thought we should be on there. So we went with it. Yeah. And so that gave us a little boost when people saw that on there.
Yeah, because I was actually looking at your numbers. I don't know, not too long ago, or your subscribers, and you're over 3,700 now, which is awesome.
Yeah,
and I was like, holy cow, they really jumped up.
Well, we went. I want to say we were at 2,400, and then when the Kickstarter launched, we were one of the first videos. Justin, or I should say, we made a video for Justin's feature. He asked if he could feature one of our YouTube videos. And so I just sent him some video content, and he featured it on his channel. So it was like right off the bat when they launched their Kickstarter. On that day, we got 1,000 in one day. And then like it trickled into the next day, another couple hundred. So in all, we got probably 1,200, like right like that.
Great.
So it blew me away. Yeah, the growth was just huge all of a sudden. So yeah, very cool.
Well, it's well deserved. You guys have a great channel, and
Thank you.
I really like your content. And what else is nice is you're also very interactive. I think pretty much have a philosophy like we do. It seems like I might be off a little, but I think you answer almost all the comments on your channel, and we believe, or at least I do. Jenny doesn't honestly always get to it because she's so busy, but we do believe that if somebody has the time to make a comment, that they deserve a response. And,
Yeah,
Absolutely. I have the same philosophy. Like, people are taking time out of their life to, be in community with us through this experience. We get so much feedback, so much help from people that have a lot more experience than us. And if they're, like you said, they're taking the time to sit and try to contribute something to our community that we're developed or working within, then absolutely, they earn a piece of my time to give them a reply. And I will say, with the caveat, sometimes I miss, like, if there's somebody leaves a comment, I'll reply. Sometimes if they reply to that, I don't always see that. The YouTube changed the way they give us notices in the little feed at the top, and I don't see the reply the same way. So I try to go back manually and look at them, but sometimes I just don't. But I do try to get everybody. We do have a couple trolls once in a while on the slaughter videos. They don't get my time, but everybody else does. So.
I actually just deleted. I think I deleted my first comment ever the other day because it was not a family-friendly comment whatsoever. Yeah. And I felt bad deleting it, but I did comment and say, I deleted your comment because that was nowhere near family-friendly.
Yeah, I've had that twice, I think, where I've had some pretty critical comments before, where people are I've had some rude comments before too, in addition to being critical, and I've left them because I just feel it's more honest of me to leave that up there. I don't want to be like, oh, censoring, everything's just perfect here all the time. That's not reality. But the ones I've deleted were profane and not consistent with the type of content that we're putting out. This, like you said, this is a family content. This is a family channel. We have young viewers. I've been contacted. I don't know if he's watching today, but there's a young viewer. He's 13 years old, Isaac, who's been contacting me. He's wanting to start his own YouTube channel, and I'm, trying to give him some inspiration for that. And so we have younger viewers. I don't want them seeing like it's not just bad words, even it's like the graphic.
All the negativity too. It's terrible.
So I've done that twice where I've had to delete them just because there's no place for that kind of content in the channel. But other than that, I'll leave it.
I don't think we had linked up yet on YouTube when we did the beard video. But have you seen the beard video?
I didn't hear that. Sorry.
Have you seen our beard video from June 1st?
Beard video. No, I don't think so.
That is our most popular video.
It's crazy.
Oh, well, I'll definitely check it out.
Which blows me away because, yeah, whatever. But the one video I deleted, I'm with you. The critical comments stay. You can even be mean to me. I don't care. I really don't care. Mean to me, critical or good or whatever. But when you get profane, and we do like to think of ourselves as a family channel, I have had to delete the one comment, and the one comment was on the beard video, and very degrading and very profane towards Jenny. And I was just blown away when I read it, and it was just the other day. And
I don't always. There's sometimes I'm like, oh, I wanna respond to that, and he's like, no, and I'm like, man, he has to be my filter sometimes.
And that reminds me.
Yeah, I don't want to get sucked. I don't want to get sucked into a YouTube comment battle, and
right.
I think that harm the channel and harm the family.
Right.
That comment was really bad, though.
Yeah.
That reminds me, I had one other one I deleted. Somebody kind of attacked one of the guests we had on. It was Tess, our sheep breeder, who is just a wonderful person who has just devoted a lot of time to helping us and is always willing to get in front of the camera with us, which has been amazing, and share she has a beautiful sheep ranch. And somebody said, it was completely off base, and they attacked her personally for no reason. And so I deleted that one because you can attack me. If they would have said that about me, I left it. In fact, I think they did say other stuff about me and I left their other comments. But if somebody's coming on our channel, I'm not going to have them being attacked. So unjust. So.
I think we are very much like-minded.
Yeah.
So I'm looking here and it's, we've been on here about an hour and 40 minutes. Can you believe that?
Yeah, we need to wrap up, I guess, for lunch, don't we?
Our lunch is actually in the oven at home.
Yeah, because you guys are 3 hours behind us.
Yeah, we are.
We have to get going for TJ has a basketball tournament tonight. So we've got to get packed up, get going on that.
I gotta go play.
TJ.
Do you got anything? You guys got anything?
I was just wondering if there was anything in the comments that we needed to address real quick that maybe we didn't. I know Ashley's been keeping up with the comments. I haven't.
I have not looked at those comments hardly at all.
Ashley and I have kind of been talking back and forth.
It's been a lot of fun.
It has been, yes.
Lots of fun.
Well, maybe we can do this again and check back with each other throughout the year and see our progress and everything.
Yeah, no, I've really enjoyed this, and it's I think it's worked out fantastic. And this is the first whatever you want to call this multiple users live thing that I've done, and I think it's worked out great. And we've really enjoyed having you guys.
Yeah, we've never done anything live before, so it's exciting for us too.
Our first time.
Right.
This has been great.
Cool. All right. Thank you guys very much. I think I'm gonna go ahead and press stop here, and we gotta get kids rounded up, and we will definitely be talking to you more, Dan.
Oh, yeah.
And, Dan goofed up, gave me his phone number, so I'm sure I'll harass him a lot.
Well, he likes to talk, so.
I get chatty.
Yes, chatty.
So do I. If somebody shows up here and they say, "So how are those pigs?"
Oh
they're
gosh.
stuck for hours.
They are.
That's nice.
All right, guys. Well, great chatting with you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
You.
Have a
Have a
good
great afternoon.
Yes, you too.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.